Not every one that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils? And in thy name done many wonderful works? And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Therefore whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. And every one that heareth these sayings of mine, and doeth them not, shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand.
We live in a world where people cannot think for themselves. When the majority with the popular opinion speak, everything they say was programmed into their mind. The Bible revealed what is popular with men is an abomination with the Most High. You should always verify if the popular belief stems from the Most High. The interesting thing about the state of people's minds is that they are not aware they are being programmed to feel and think a certain way. Most people do not know that they are under mind control. They actually believe their thoughts are not influenced by the media in the kingdom of darkness. The individuals who believe they are wise and would never allow themselves to be mind controlled by the elites, Satan placed a stronghold on them. The reason they are a greater puppet than most, they are blind by their arrogance. Once Satan programmed their mind, it is difficult to deprogram their blindness.
In whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God, should shine unto them.
Only the Most High can free them from the stronghold Satan placed on their life. Without a repentant heart, their spirit will remain captive to the kingdom of darkness. Social media is the leading force behind programming everyone to share a common belief. To all the free thinkers, have you noticed when a mass shooting or despicable tragedy occur, everyone, including the mainstream media, have the same common belief and solution? Only a select few have the opposite opinion and refuse to accept the popular belief. Once the brainwashed people on social media receive knowledge of individuals who refuse to submit to their shared beliefs, there is an outrage on social media attacking everyone who is against their views. When Kanye West said 400 years of slavery was a choice, the black community attacked him, as well as the diabolical black celebrities. The heathens knew Kanye West was telling the truth. They encouraged the backlash Kanye received by giving the mind-controlled black people the platform to attack him. They want to appear as if they are helping you, when in reality they have programmed you to attack your own. They do not want you to reflect on what Kanye said. If you took the time to reflect on what he said, you would wake up from their control and gain a new perspective on slavery. Therefore, they encourage you to attack him and view him as an enemy, while they sit back and watch you destroy yourselves. By the way, Kanye West is right. Slavery was a choice. Our ancestors chose to disobey the Most High. They also chose to align themselves with the pagan church until this day, to worship a false god. The Most High revealed to our ancestors in the book of Deuteronomy what would happen to them and their descendants if they refused to obey him.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
We all know the Israelites disobeyed the Most High, and as their blood descendants, the prophecy are being fulfilled of what the Most High said would happen to his people. Therefore, slavery was a choice, and our people are still choosing slavery until this day. The only reason our people cannot see, they are mind controlled to share a common belief with the heathens. The Most High created his people to be independent thinkers. He gave us the opportunity to choose what we want to do. If the Most High created us and made everyone to talk, look, and act the same, he would have created us to be that way. When the people came on one accord to build cities and towers that would reach heaven, the Most High confused their language to seize them from achieving their shared common goals.
And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city.
Can you imagine the wicked things people would come up with when they share a common belief? Who would stop them from achieving their goal if everyone think and act alike, especially if their common goal is wicked? By confusing their language, the people could not finish building the cities. When the Most High confused their language, he freed the people from the mind control Satan and the kingdom of darkness had over the people. The people did not wake up one day and say, Let us build cities. They were influenced by the kingdom of darkness to do this. The elites of today wants to control everyone, and they want you to act and think the way they have been programming you. To those of us who refuse to submit to their mind control, they ridicule and bully us until we submit. The elites have trolls that they pay to go on social media to create fake outrage and troll people that do not share the common belief. To those who believe they are independent thinkers, the popular comments I receive from mind control people all over the world are, This is racism, hate speech, cult, Satan has deceived you, Jesus is the way, Black people can't be chosen, the Bible is false, and Jesus was Middle Eastern with an olive skin tone. I am sure other people who have channels can testify to the same response from people who believe they think for themselves. My question to the people who always respond with the shared common belief, who taught you to respond this way? Was it your pastors? If so, where did he or she get this information from? Did you confirm their claim by conducting your own research? Was it your favorite celebrity? How do you know if the celebrity idol you worship have the same beliefs as you? Some of your favorite celebrities are only repeating what they are programmed to say. In addition, your favorite celebrity is joining the conversation because he or she is seeking attention to get you to buy their products. They are simply building their brand by making you believe they are standing with you. If the mainstream media is influencing your response, who's their source? Their source must be legitimate, not hearsay from other reporters. Many of you are passing along messages and aligning yourself with people who receive their information from the kingdom of darkness. Because they sound authentic, you go along with it. If 5 million people feel the same way as you, it do not automatically make your shared beliefs accurate. How do I know if the information in the mainstream media and the popular opinion from people who share a common belief is not altered? Do I not have the right to challenge their theories? For example, the people who deny the Messiah's true heritage and race, they love to state the Messiah was Middle Eastern with an olive skin tone, but not Black. These individuals will post this statement on every channel and platform that do not subscribe to the common belief. The people who actually believe this statement do not conduct a proper research to verify their claims. As long as they make them feel good to know the Messiah is not Black, they will stand with this belief. Just because something sounds good or looks good does not make it good. The Bible said no one is good, not even one.
As it is written, there is none righteous, no, not one. Every one of them is gone back. They are altogether become filthy. There is none that doeth good, no, not one.
My source told me that there is none that does well, not even one. Together they all have become corrupt. Why would I believe the popular opinion? I will go to the supreme ruler of all, the God of Israel, to verify the so-called truth the majority wants me to accept. As for the individuals who believe the Messiah is Middle Eastern and of an olive skin tone but not black, that is the most foolish statement I have ever heard. No wonder the Most High said the wisdom of this world is foolishness.
Let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool, that he may be wise. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. For it is written, He taketh the wise in their own craftiness.
The people many are proclaiming to be Middle Eastern are not indigenous to the land. They are a mixed multitude. The pale-skinned so-called Middle Eastern people are descendants of invaders from Europe and those that migrate to the Middle East. They rape the indigenous Hamite women, creating the mixed multitude of people you call brown, Arabs, and Middle Eastern. The indigenous people from the land you say the Messiah is from are Hamites, who we all know are black people. In the scriptures that I played for you earlier that speaks of the Most High confusing the people's language, after the Most High confused their language, he scattered the people all over the world to prevent them from coming together like this again.
So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth.
Israelites, before most of our ancestors were shipped here as slaves to the Americas, the indigenous people that was already here from the first time the Most High scattered the people were dark or so-called black before they were whited out. Black people are indigenous to all the land on the face of this planet. Always remember that. Olives are two colors, green and black. Nobody is recognized as green in skin tone. However, there is a group of people in the world that are referred to as black, like the black olives. In addition, they share a common skin tone with the indigenous Hamites. By the way, the indigenous Hamites dwell in the land of Ham, the region they refer to as North Africa in the Middle East until this day. I cannot accept your theories of the Messiah being an olive skin tone like the modern day Middle Eastern people. He definitely had the black olive skin tone like the indigenous Hamites. Olives are black and the Hamites are black. Now that the popular statement has proven to be false, I am sure this is the part the heathens will proclaim. It does not matter his race, they will love him anyway. Good for you if that was true. This is also the part the heathens would claim this message is racist. If it does not matter, depict the Messiah as the olive color skin tone Middle Eastern Hamite you proclaim he is, not the abominable graven image that look like the pale heathen that is confusing the masses. The Most High said 2 or 3 witnesses must establish every matter.
This is the third time I am coming to you. In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall every word be established. 1 witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity, or for any sin, in any sin that he sinneth. At the mouth of 2 witnesses, or at the mouth of 3 witnesses shall the matter be established.
1 witness is not enough. Many will say 5 million people with the same belief is more than enough to establish the matter. The way the Most High confirm and establish a matter is not by people passing along hearsay. If someone is being accused, you need the testimony of more than 1 witnesses. The Most High confirm and establish a matter by first answering your question, then confirm his response by 2 or more people. Confirmation is not 3 people trying to convince you their belief is right. An important detail you need to know about the witnesses, he or she will have 0 knowledge of the question you ask the Most High. When the Most High sent Nathan, the prophet, to David to inform him of his sin and the consequences of his sin, did King David disclose his sin to Nathan, the prophet, or anyone else? The Bible said he did this in secret. The Spirit of the Most High exposed David to the prophet. After the Most High revealed to the prophet King David's transgressions, the Most High sent his prophet Nathan to convict David of his sins.
And Nathan said to David, Thou art the man. Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, I anointed thee king over Israel, and I delivered thee out of the hand of Saul. And I gave thee thy master's house, and thy master's wives into thy bosom, and gave thee the house of Israel and of Judah. And if that had been too little, I would moreover have given unto thee such and such things. Wherefore hast thou despised the commandment of the Lord to do evil in his sight? Thou hast killed Uriah the Hittite with the sword, and hast taken his wife to be thy wife, and hast slain him with the sword of the children of Ammon. Now therefore the sword shall never depart from thine house, because thou hast despised me, and hast taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be thy wife. Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will raise up evil against thee out of thine own house, and I will take thy wives before thine eyes, and give them unto thy neighbor, and he shall lie with thy wives in the sight of this sun. For thou didst it secretly, but I will do this thing before all Israel, and before the sun. And David said unto Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. And Nathan said unto David, The Lord also hath put away thy sin. Thou shalt not die.
The Spirit of the Most High reveals truth to all of us. He will be the one to tell us of the things to come. This is why it is important that you do not pass along popular beliefs to other people without first getting confirmation from the God of Israel. The Most High will give you the answer and tell you the truth, and then 2 or more people will come and confirm. For example, you are having a casual conversation with a friend. All of a sudden, your friend says something that triggers you to remember the question you asked the Most High. That is how the Spirit of the Most High confirmed his response to you. If you did not recognize the confirmation, then the next witness will come forth to establish the matter. With all that being said, I hope I build a strong foundation to help you understand today's message. Many people believe they are serving the God of Israel through the popular religion Christianity. Today, you will find out that the shared common belief that stems from the church is Satan's manipulation.
Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils? And in thy name done many wonderful works? And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity.
The Messiah said many would come to him and say, I did this in your name and that in your name. Yeshua replied, Depart from me, I never knew you. Many people believe they know the Messiah. If you are familiar with the Tales videos on this channel, you know that there are 2 Messiahs, and the false Messiah is pretending to be the God of Israel in the flesh. Many people use this verse to dismiss teachings that are contrary to the popular belief. The scriptures is revealing people who proclaim they know the Messiah and following the teachings of the Messiah are misled. That is why Yeshua said, Depart from me, I never knew you. The key word in this verse is many. It is a small minority speaking against the popular doctrines of the pagan church. The scriptures reveal a few will find the narrow road that leads to life. The church and religion in general is the broad road that leads to destruction. Not too many are accepting that Christianity is a false religion. Over 2 billion people are following the popular belief of Christianity, not realizing they are on the broad road that leads to destruction.
Enter ye in at the strait gate. For wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Because strait is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it.
Many Israelites that are in the truth are also on the broad road that leads to destruction, and they are not aware. Many simply Christianize the awakening and continue with the pagan church doctrines. Israelites, if any of the next statements apply to you, examine yourself and repent. You deny the Messiah. You believe the New Testament is false. You're self-righteous, and you're boasting and finding pleasure in the coming destruction on the heathens. You taunt the heathens. Remember, many Israelites will not make it into the kingdom. The Most High said judgment starts with us. Do not let the spirit of hate cause you to miss the kingdom. The Most High said you should not rejoice in another person's calamity.
Rejoice not when thine enemy falleth, and let not thine heart be glad when he stumbleth.
A couple years ago, my boss conspired against me and slandered my name to HR, which led to them terminating me from my position. Before this final blow, I had endured many hardships on this job. By the way, my boss was an Israelite. I am revealing the race because I do not want you to assume my former boss was a heathen. I want you to see how cold we can be to one another. We are not as innocent as we claim to be. At the time, I did not know the things I know now about the spirit realm. After the wrongful termination, a part of me wanted to retaliate and the other part of me wanted to move on and rebuild my life. The kingdom of darkness tried to tempt me to retaliate and take matters into my own hands. I'm glad I did not allow myself to fall for their deception. I moved on with my life and even forgave the Israelite who the kingdom of darkness used to bring forth this hardship upon my life. After being terminated from my job, a former coworker went to eat at a restaurant my sister worked at. My sister and I could pass for twins. My former coworker recognized the resemblance between my sister and me that my former coworker asked my sister if she knew me. My sister went on to say yes and reveal we are siblings. To make a long story short, she told my sister to inform me that the boss the kingdom of darkness used to terminate me from my position was also terminated. She also told my sister she quit and no longer worked for the company. I decided to call a friend that was still employed with my former employer to confirm the news. My friend revealed to me my former boss was indeed fired. My sister could not remember her name, and for the life of me, I cannot remember who she was even after my sister describing her to me. When the Most High say he will vindicate you, he will, and I did not have to get my hands dirty to receive justice. The Most High found a way to reveal to me that he answered my prayer by sending my former coworker to eat at a restaurant my sister worked at. Also, my good friend that still worked for the company, the two witnesses that confirmed the matter. I did not ask the Most High to fire my former boss. However, the scriptures reveal a person reap what they sow. Since she sowed a seed that led to my termination, she also reaped the same thing. In prayer, I asked the Most High to vindicate me and make it right. I quote multiple scriptures to remind the Most High what he said he would do for the righteous, including one of my favorite scriptures, 2 Thessalonians 1 and 6.
Seeing it is a righteous thing with God to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you.
When you come into agreement with the word of Yah, he will do exactly as his words say. His words will not return to him void. When I heard the news of my former boss being terminated, the first thing that entered my mind was Proverbs 24 and 17. I could have rejoiced in her downfall, but I didn't. Instead, my spirit was grieved because the kingdom of darkness managed to get both of us terminated. I know my fight is not with my former boss, but with the unclean spirit hiding behind my former boss. We wrestle not against flesh and blood.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
I took my fight to the Most High, and I went after the spirit that was the root cause to terminating my former boss and me. Israelites attacking the unclean spirit was how I was able to forgive my former boss and channel righteous anger towards the unclean spirit in the kingdom of darkness. What sense would it make to stay angry with a person for several years after the incident? That is placing yourself in bondage. Your spirit is not free, and you are giving the unclean spirit control over you. When you are able to forgive a fellow Israelite, it is liberating because the unclean spirit cannot tie down your spirit. Have you ever met a person who is still angry at something that happened 15 years ago? They remain angry as if that circumstance happened yesterday. The unclean spirit tied their spirit for 15 years, and they have been miserable for all these years because they cannot let it go. Moving forward with your life after injustice and not hating a person in your heart display maturity and strength, not weakness. We do not rejoice in another person's downfall, especially if it is another Israelite. Majority of the Messiah's teachings was on how to treat each other and how to love your brethren, the Israelites. If unforgiveness was in my heart towards my former boss, that would block the Most High from responding to my situation. Do not rejoice on another person's destruction. Rid yourself of the spirit of pride that is leading you to rejoice in the coming destruction of the heathens. Focus on helping other Israelites and strangers in receiving the truth that will lead to their repentance. The Most High turned Joseph's hardship brought upon him by his brothers into a blessing. The Most High did the same for me. My termination led to the rebirth of wisdom teas, an alternative way to pass the message to other Israelites and strangers. If an Israelite so happens to be looking for a scripture and I walk past him or her wearing a wisdom teas with that particular scripture, that would encourage and help that individual, and I am planting good seeds in the process. The Most High may use you who purchase and wear a wisdom tea to minister to other people about the message on your t-shirt. Always be ready to share, Israelites, even if you're not wearing a wisdom tea. You never know how the Most High could turn a disaster into a blessing. Do not get worked up about the unfairness the kingdom of darkness bring upon you. The Most High is the best judge. Let him decide. When you rejoice in another person's downfall, you are giving the kingdom of darkness an opportunity to devour you. In addition, you are shutting down the assistance of the Most High to intervene in your circumstance. As we continue to examine Matthew 7:22 to 23, the Messiah said, the people would say, have we not done many wonderful works in your name and cast out devils in your name? Satan and his angels can perform great wonders to confuse you. When the Most High said to Moses, throw your staff on the ground, and his staff turned into a snake, the witches and warlocks were able to imitate the same miracle as the Most High. Every sign the Most High did through Moses, the Egyptians were able to imitate.
And Moses and Aaron went in unto Pharaoh, and they did so as the Lord had commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh, and before his servants, and became a serpent. Then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers. Now the magicians of Egypt they also did in like manner with their enchantments. For they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents. But Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods.
The Bible said many would be deceived by the false prophet because he would do great signs and wonders, that even the elect would be deceived by his miracles.
For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect.
Look at Hollywood, the music industry, politicians, governments around the world. Satan controls all of them. Satan has the audacity to say to the Messiah that he would give him all the power to all the kingdoms of this world if he would bow down and worship him. Many of you believe you are serving the God of Israel in the churches and doing the will of the Most High in Jesus' name. The truth is you are following a false Messiah, leading you astray in the pagan churches. You wholeheartedly believe you are serving the God of Israel, but you are following Satan. Can you understand why Yeshua would say, depart from me, I never knew you? When I was a member of a Christian church, I thought I was doing the will of the Most High until the Most High waked me out of my deep sleep. Let us continue to look into Matthew 7, verse 22 and 23. Yeshua said he would profess, I never knew you, depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Also, if you continue to read in verse 26, Yeshua said, everyone that hear these sayings of mine and do them not shall be like a foolish man. Iniquity is committing the same sins repeatedly. We have people who profess to be following the God of Israel, yet they are breaking the commandments and statutes of the Most High. The Messiah said to keep the commandments. The church said only the first two are important. Who are you following? The God of Israel said to remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Keeping the Sabbath day is part of the commandments. The church said it doesn't matter the day, choose a day of your liking. Who are you following? The Most High said the Israelites are the apple of his eyes, made an everlasting covenant with his people, and intend to redeem his people. The church say the old covenant is fulfilled, we are under a new covenant, and it is now a spiritual Israelite. Who are you following? The God of Israel said he would make a new covenant with the Israelites. The church said the Messiah will graft all people into the new covenant and the heathens replace the Israelites. Who are you following? The Messiah said he did not come to abolish the laws, but to fulfill what was written about him. The church said the laws are done away with. Who are you following? Certainly not the God of Israel. Now do you truly understand why Yeshua will say, I never knew you, depart from me? Religion in the pagan church is teaching something very different from the Bible. You do not want to be an advocate for the wrong kingdom. It will be very difficult to stand before the judgment seat of the Most High and he say to you that I never knew you, depart from me. By then it would be too late to do something about it. Today you have the opportunity to break the cycle of mind control placed on you by the kingdom of darkness and the human agents. You do not have to follow the shared common belief of what is popular. Do not be afraid to stand alone. Do not be afraid to be the outcast. The Most High said if you belong to the world, it would accept you as its own. If the world rejects you, that is good news. Understand that what you stand for is convicting the wicked, and you are planting good seeds. Yeshua was bullied, beaten, challenged, and some people called him a devil. Many doubt and reject his teachings. Over 2,000 years later, we still have Israelites and heathens rejecting the Messiah and his teachings. As a servant to the Most High, I know that I stand against the popular belief, and I expect the world to treat me as they did Yeshua. At least I know the Messiah and I share the same ordeal with people rejecting the will of our Father in our lives, simply because this truth is unpopular. It would be devastating to believe you are doing the will of the Most High and following the teachings of the Messiah just for him to say, I never knew you, depart from me. Heathens and Israelites, are you sure you are following and serving the Elohim of Israel? If the world loves you and accepts you, that is a red flag. If your beliefs match the beliefs of this world, that is a red flag. If you're following Christianity, that is a major red flag. My goal is to stand before the judgment seat of the Most High and hear, well done, my good and faithful servant. Nobody is going to take that from me.
His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord.